Fluoride is a common ingredient in rat poison, Prozac, toothpaste,
do not see a problem with fluoride. And, after doing a thorough research of it, and that is the way that, I've handled pretty much everything I've done.
I'm definitely against the fluoride. And I'm not qualified to contest the medical side of it. But I'll be against any additives in our water, other than, of course, chlorine, which is necessary.
I voted to introduce fluoride to our drinking water. If in the future evidence can support the need to remove fluoride, then I would support that.
anyone want?
Let me talk about things that are poison. If you look at the vitamins multivitamins that you take, any one of those elements taken outside of that window, the window that they put there, is extremely dangerous. You can kill yourselves by overdosing with vitamins.
If you ever go down the bottled water aisle, you can get bottled water with all kinds of flavors and additives to it. But until these manufacturers start offering bottled water with fluoride, I'll always be against fluoride in the water. Harlan Jennings.
Okay, you're running for ECUA?
Yeah, ECUA District 1.
Okay. Now, here in the Women for Responsible legislation today, there were several questions about fluoride and how it's known to be a poison. Now your response was a little bit better than most, and would you expound on your stance on fluoride a little bit?
Yes, Adam, I'm really not qualified to dispute the medical side of it, but I'm adamantly opposed to that additive in our water.
Now, what's your stance on water fluoridation to begin with?
Well, I support the water fluoridation. Prior to voting to include fluoridation in our drinking supply, we did a lot of research and we had a lot of public input. And I think we probably had more public input than we've had on any issue at ECUA. So my position is I am supporting it, and if we get evidence to show that it was a mistake, that it is causing harm, I will vote to remove it.
Okay. Let me present you with a copy of The Fluoride Deception. This is a movie from the Fluoride Action Network. You can go to their website at fluoridealert.org. Would you be willing to watch that and then do a follow-up interview?
I will watch it, and I'd be glad to answer any question you may have.
Yeah, I got to tell you, that is definitely a Ron Paul Freak question. It's definitely a Ron Paul Freak question. I've had that question before by that organization, and I do not live in fear of the Real ID Act. We have to recognize that the federal government gives the state an awful lot of money. In the end, the state will come to a compromise with the federal government on this.
Women for Responsible legislation has taken a stand, gentlemen, on the North American Union. And what are you doing to oppose the merger of the United States, Mexico, and Canada and the North American Union?
Question about the United States, Mexico, and Canada, and the North American Union.
And this goes along with it too. Let me just say this one. Are you aware, gentlemen, that the widening of I-10 is part of the NAFTA superhighway? So that kind of goes along with that question.
I don't know that the widening of the interstate in this next one is going to lead to the downfall of the United States because it's going to be this big superhighway between Mexico and Canada. There are people in this crowd that I understand that live in fear of that. I am not one of those folks, so I do not share those concerns.
Because I think that we should make our own laws here locally, and that we should preserve our state and our way of life, especially here in Panhandle.
I do not believe that the Federal Real ID Act is a productive way to use our resources. And so I think we have a state driver's license. I don't believe that. I would vote with the state on that, not the federal government. This is the state of Florida, and we can count our own people.
I think the federal government is more or less trying to take a little bit too much control right now, and I think the federal ID would be a good way to go ahead and lead to different areas of more control. It might be a great idea for the time being if they want to make it that way, but nobody knows how it's going to go in the future. That's the whole thing, is that whenever you're in government, you're looking for a long idea with a vision. And the federal idea is not a good vision to be used. I would definitely go with the state on that, because the federal government should not be invading our privacy any more than ours does. Regarding the interstate thing that they expanded, I mean, they're just going to try to state really doesn't have much say over the federal government and how we can expand it or on how it's going to work. And even if it does get expanded, it will probably be good for economic development to this corridor down here. Regarding the NAU, I do think it's great if we're going to build a road all the way from Mexico to Canada, we're going to go ahead and do that. But I think the issue here is how we're going to protect security, how are they going to fix immigration, and what is going to be the freedom of travel. And that's something that needs to be looked at.
Okay, first of all, I will oppose the United States, Mexico, and Canada joining the North American Union. And the reason that I'm in opposition to that is we are Americans and we deserve our own country. The other thing that I'd like to clarify, when you talk about compromise, the state has to make a stand against the federal government. We're not going to lose any federal dollars or highways or anything else, but yet we have to make a stand in order to reach a compromise.
Okay, I want to be very clear on this as far as my positions go, and they're real simple. I oppose CAFTA, I oppose NAFTA, I oppose the SLAP, I oppose SIP, and I oppose the NAU. And the reason I oppose these things is I think that the ones that are already in place have proven to be detrimental to the citizens of this state and nation. And the reason I oppose the ones that are just in the planning stages is I see them as an extension of the attack on the sovereignty of our nation. And I'm dedicated to the sovereignty of this nation.
Have a good day.